it for you in case you're just tuning in. Scott Dixon has to stop here very soon. He is first. So does Helio Castroneves. Remember, they had that lap 7 contact. Will Power is third. Ryan Briscoe fourth. Rafa Matos fifth. Dario Franchitti and Mario Moraes sixth and seventh. And there they are in your screen. Let's take a look at our Firestone lap leaders up to the point right now, and you can see that Will Power has dominated in that category, leading 18. Scott Dixon has led the other 7. And I'm really impressed right now as we're working lap number 27. The number 9 still out there. A 4-second lead over Castroneves and a 9-second lead now over Will Power. So the gap has been widening, and this is exactly what he needs as we go on board with Marco Andretti in 9th position.
Great section of the racetrack coming up that hill, that 80-foot climb. Here's where you hope you're close enough to the car in front to get a draft and maybe have a shot on going underneath the car into the bus stop. But for Marco Andretti, he does not. His teammate Tony Kanaan in the 711 machine is dressed directly up ahead of him, and in front of Tony Kanaan, Mario Moraes. Good battle going on right now between these 3 drivers, just about pretty even. Someone's going to have to mistake for one of those guys to be able to go on past.
Down into the boot. As we said, we're working lap number 27 and waiting to see what happens. As boy, Marco took a little bit of a scenic route there. That's the toe of the boot. Now they make the long climb up towards turn number 8. A little bit further back, checking in on Dan Weldon and Hideki Muto. They're running in 14th and 15th position. We got word that they had a bit of a moment a while back. Weldon's already had one moment right there in turn number 8. Turned the car around. Let's go back and take a look. On board with Weldon.
Into that bumpy section right here. This is exactly where he had the problem before. Muto a little bit wide. Dan Weldon gets the opportunity and takes it.
So doesn't go all the way around, no contact, but he does pick up the spot. And we continue on with another lap, and now working lap 28. So Scott Dixon getting extremely good fuel mileage. There you see the 37. Ryan Hunter-Reay getting around Paul Tracy. So move Ryan up to 17th. Paul Tracy back to 18th. Remember, Ryan stalled the car coming out of pit lane, and that's why he fell back. On board with Danica Patrick. She's running in 19th.
Just ahead of her is Paul Tracy. You know, and maybe a younger Paul Tracy would have made that just a little bit harder for Ryan Hunter-Reay, but since he's not been in the series full time, maybe he's looking just to make sure he gets to the end, because the younger Paul Tracy certainly made it very difficult for drivers to get past it.
All right, let me put the question to you as here we go. Danica Patrick takes a look down on the inside. Cannot make the pass. We can tell you that Scott Dixon and Helio Castroneves are laid out for pit stops. Now, remember, we are working lap 28. They came in on lap 7 after having the contact, and here he comes. So 21 laps. A couple more than we first heard from Mike Hull. He thought they'd make 19, maybe 20 if they were lucky. But it looks like Dixon is going to make it to 21. Vince, he's coming your way.
They really like the way Scott Dixon's race car is handling. Of course, you noted that earlier incident in the contact with Helio Castroneves. The 9 car of Dixon, they're going to put on the black tires, sticker tires, no other changes with that car. Dixon is off, and Helio Castroneves is in as well. Castroneves went to the red scuffed tires, the red scuffs for Helio.
So remember, we talk about the in-lap and the out-lap being so important. Look at this. Milka Duno coming out of pit road also, or by pit road, almost collects Helio as he's on the hammer. He gets around her.
Well, Helio was coming out and directly behind Milka, and he had to make that move because she is so slow to get up to speed. And right now he's in the battle with Danica Patrick, who's out on warm tires. What will Helio do? The smart thing is to probably let her go. Don't flat spot your tires because they're cold. Then you have to spend the whole segment on tires that would be vibrating.
But what I was saying was Helio set the best lap of the race on his in-lap for that pit stop, the lap right before. So he was all in the mail. Can he get back to the front? We'll find out.
Ever feel like it's just better to blend in and go with the flow? Neither do we. the Mitsubishi Lancer, with twin paddle shifters to reignite your passion for driving. Lancer is backed by our 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty that beats Mazda 3, Honda Civic, and Toyota Corolla today and for years to come. This 4th of July weekend, get 0% financing for 60 months on the Mitsubishi of your choice. See your Mitsubishi dealer today, because this offer ends July 6th.
For the millions living with COPD, breathing becomes a real struggle. COPD stands for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, but you may have heard of it as chronic bronchitis or emphysema. Over time, it makes it harder and harder to breathe until you feel like you're breathing through a straw. COPD is the 4th leading cause of death in the U.S. It kills 1 person every 4 minutes, and it took my grandmother. An estimated 24 million Americans are affected, but as many as half of them don't even know it. It's a race against time to spread the word about this serious disease. If you're over 35 and have ever smoked, you could be at risk. The good news is, there are steps you can take to improve your symptoms. I'm Danica Patrick, and I drive for COPD. Take action today to breathe better tomorrow. Join the movement at driveforcopd.com, take our screening questionnaire today, and talk to your doctor.
Nightfall is the time for romance.
I've never felt this way before. I love you.
On ABC's new Summer Sunday.
Are you flirting with me?
How's the new job? Has he hit on you yet?
ABC's Scoundrels.
I
And
think it's about time you started breaking some rules.
falling in love behind these gates.
I know you kissed him.
Could be bad for your health.
Any male she comes in contact with could be in mortal danger.
ABC's The Gates. 2 new tempting dramas.
They love it.
Next Sunday starting at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Tuesday, couples that crash together win cash together. It's ABC's Wipeout Couples Edition. 12 couples compete in the world's largest extreme obstacle course, taking on obstacles like Big Balls, the Shapeshifter, and the Blob. ABC's Wipeout Couples Edition. It's Tuesday, 8/7 Central. Paul Tracy is in, Rick.
They decided to change strategies as a result. They're bringing in, they're doing a short fill, sending them back out with no major adjustments. The idea is shift things around and see if you can't really rattle the cage, go with a different strategy, and hopefully on the back end it'll pay off.
Well, we're right at halfway at 30 laps, so he's going to have to stop one more time. We'll see if that pays off for him. Right now, the race lead belongs to Will Power, and if he can make the fuel economy that he is, we think that he might be able to sneak it on home with one more stop. And one bad news to report, Alex Lloyd is out of the race. Jamie, you've caught up with him?
Yes, we have. He's out of the car. In his pit box, we heard you mention something about steering, that it couldn't steer anymore. What happened?
Yeah, we think, we're not entirely sure. We think we may have a steering rack problem. We started having some strange things happening after the first pit stop, and then we came in and thought we'd change tires and see if that cured it. Then all of a sudden the steering locked, and it was almost like in a road car when you lose your power steering. It was, so something must have broken in the steering. We couldn't find it in pit lane, so that's us for the day. So real shame, because the Boy Scouts of America car was going pretty well, and we were moving through the field pretty well, and I felt like we had a top 10 car, but it's been a frustrating weekend with a couple of little issues here and there, and disappointing day.
All right, Alex Lloyd's first race here at the Glen is over early. Marty?
All right, thanks, Jamie.
Well, you know, and I think, Marty, right now, when you think about a steering rack, maybe it was that contact he had with Dan Weldon in the turn that knocked the steering rack off, because when you get the left front wheel hitting the rear of another car, then it's usually the front end that takes the suffering on that.
As you finish up that point, take a look at Marias, Kanan, Andretti. We go on board with Adam Carroll. He's in 9th. And the other 3 that we just talked about are right in front of him. This is a great battle on the racetrack.
You can see how hard these drivers are pushing the cars, because there's one prime line that you're trying to, the turning point, the clipping point at the apex and the exit, and you can see these guys driving in so hard sometimes, as Marco Andretti wants to let his teammate Tony Kanaan know that I'm here. He's trying to fill up his mirrors, but these guys are sometimes running a different line through some of the turns, only from the fact that they're trying to push the car so hard, sliding underneath them.
I think Marco's trying to tell Tony, I'm faster, let me through.
Absolutely. He's been doing that for quite a few laps. Probably a little frustration on his side.
Well, that was Mario Moraes leading this pack of 5. Right behind him is Kanaan, Andretti. Now Justin Wilson has gotten around Adam Carroll. They head down into